When they actually looked at the questions for the proposal, what was popular was, of course, sort of raising, tilting the scales on taxation towards more progressive. So asking people who have gotten a lot to pay more of their fair share and sort of allowing incomes. And what wasn't popular was the gas tax. So what we had was not that the people were being, that the people weren't, of Massachusetts weren't clear, but rather a legislature which was out of step. So I guess my question is not whether or not the people support it. I think we've seen that people are supportive of investing in the types of investment you and the governor were speaking about, but rather how do you get that proposal through a legislature that likes some of those things that are costly but help their communities and so might have some waste and like some of those things?
You do it very simply through organic, progressive political power. You go out to every community and every Senate district in the state, you marshal those resources, you go to every community, and you ask citizens to take a look at what fairness looks like. Look, when I ran for state treasurer, I was criticized by Karen Polito again and again and again for having previously, in a previous time in my life, supported a graduate income tax. I was the one who said we should not cut our state income taxes. Right now, we're on the road to cutting our state income taxes by 0.05 each year that we have a certain level of income tax revenue. So we've cut them from 5.3 to 5.25 to 5.2. Every time we cut our taxes by 0.05, we lose well over $100 million of taxes. And those are revenues that we need. I mean, look at DCF. Look at the $100 million we've cut out of the budget for social workers at DCF. We are requiring, anybody here a social worker, raise your hand. Anybody here know anybody who's a social worker? Okay. The social workers at DCF are laboring and are being criticized every day, but the caseload should be no more than 1 out of every 15 cases. Probably should be 12. Some have 18, some have 19, some have 23. That's just one of many investments that we have had to cut because we continue to cut our income taxes. So I oppose the cut from 5.3 down to 5.0 because I didn't think we could afford it. And I do support fairness in terms of our tax policy. Very similar to my dear friend who's endorsed me, Jay Kaufman, who believes, and you saw the Tax Fairness Commission's work, that creates a much fairer tax system. Those who make more should pay more, those who make less should pay less, and we should use exemptions, earned income tax credit, and the circuit breaker to level that playing field so that no low or moderate income family pays more money than they do now. That's the way to create more fairness in the system. Now you might say to me, one addendum, you might say to me, well Steve, what about graduate income tax right now? Here's the problem. To pass graduate income tax, it has to go through 2 successive constitutional conventions. That's 15 and 16, 1. 17 and 18, 2. Instead of going to the ballot in 18, so the earliest we could implement graduate income tax, if we did pass it, is 2019. 2019 is the beginning of my second term as governor. Let's make the tax code fairer now, and let's not wait. There are ways to do it right now. I've laid that out. I've talked to Jay Kaufman about it. We all know what can be done. Let's do it. It just requires an act of political courage because the gas tax is not the route to go. We went up by 3 cents. It's got to be indexed to inflation. If we eliminate the indexing of gas tax, by the way, this fall, if that's on the ballot and it passes, in other words, if the people eliminate it, that's $1 billion for transportation over the next 10 years. That would undermine our ability to do the kind of transportation and infrastructure plan that the governor laid out, which is the right plan for the state, for a low and moderate income family in particular, because that's public transportation, get out of the cars, reduce our carbon footprint, create smart growth opportunities, create more affordable housing. Those are all the outgrowths of the things we can do with a fully implemented transportation and infrastructure plan.